All right, get ready, because today we're going deep, really deep into the Taurus personality.
Ooh, I love a good deep dive.
And lucky for us, we've got Linda Goodman's work as our guide, right?
Yeah.
No need to flip through hundreds of pages, though.
We've done the work for you.
Exactly. We've distilled everything down to the core Taurus traits, the stuff you really need to know.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, Tauruses are full of surprises.
Yeah, like they're known for being so calm and peaceful, but
But there's that other side to them, too.
right, like don't push them too far kind of vibe.
Definitely. There's a hidden fire in there.
Okay, so speaking of powerful imagery, Linda Goodman has this brilliant analogy. She compares the Taurus personality to the Rock of Gibraltar.
It's so perfect, isn't it? I mean, picture it. The Rock of Gibraltar, unyielding, enduring, like a symbol of strength against anything nature can throw at it.
Yeah, wow. It really paints a picture.
Doesn't it? And that's exactly what a Taurus is like at their core. Grounded, unwavering, just like that rock.
They stand firm against change.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They don't like to be swayed.
So, okay, we have this image of a rock, solid and unshakable. But in everyday life, I mean, are they just walking around stoic and unemotional all the time?
No, not at all. They feel everything deeply.
Okay, good.
But their default, you could say, is definitely calm and collected.
Right. So it takes a lot to really ruffle their feathers.
It does. They're very patient.
Patient, yeah. But Linda Goodman does say that if you push a Taurus too far, watch out.
Oh, yeah. They're capable of some serious anger.
Powerful,
Like
even.
explosive.
There's that line you don't want to cross.
You really don't.
So is there a way to sense when a Taurus is reaching that point? Like, what are the warning signs?
Goodman describes it as a slow burn, It's not like a sudden burst of anger. It's more of a gradual buildup.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can almost picture a bull, right? Pawing the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Right before it charges.
Yeah, I get it.
And with the Taurus, you might notice they get quieter, maybe a bit withdrawn, or they just refuse to budge on something. Stubborn.
Yeah. Those are your cues to maybe back off a little bit and reassess.
So being attuned to those subtle shifts in their energy is key.
Absolutely. Don't wait for the volcano to erupt.
Right. Catch it early.
Exactly.
Now, when we think of a bull, I mean, there's often a certain physicality that comes to mind, right? Like, do all Tauruses fit that strong, robust image?
While there are some common physical traits, sure, like a strong build,
Yeah.
dark hair and eyes, sometimes even a bullish look to their features.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember astrology is nuanced.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I think Taurus, Fred Astaire doesn't exactly spring to mind.
Exactly. And he was a Taurus.
Right.
Along with Bing Crosby and Gary Cooper. All known for their charm and grace, not necessarily for being big and muscular.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that these astrological archetypes are just starting points, not the whole picture.
Right. So looking beyond the stereotypes, trying to understand the essence.
Okay, so moving beyond the physical, what about matters of the heart? How does a Taurus approach love and romance?
Well, they're not exactly charging after people, horns blazing.
Right?
Think back to that farm analogy, remember?
Oh, yeah.
A Taurus in love, they're more like a patient farmer,
Okay.
They tend their crops, they wait for the right moment.
So not about those grand romantic gestures.
No, not so much.
Not about sweeping someone off their feet.
They attract love rather than chasing it.
Interesting.
Security and loyalty, those are huge for a Taurus.
Makes sense.
And Goodman mentions something fascinating about Taurus men in particular.
Oh, I love a good detail. Tell me.
She says that when a Taurus man is faced with like a passionate declaration of love, sometimes just a simple yes from him.
A yes. That's it.
Yeah, but it's everything.
Really?
Think about it. For a Taurus, actions always speak louder than words.
Oh, right.
So their yes isn't just a word, it's commitment.
Wow. A promise.
A promise rooted in their whole steadfast nature.
Never thought about it like that.
Changes the perspective a bit, right?
It does.
Especially considering how grounded they are.
Right. Okay, so speaking of feeling grounded, what about a Taurus's home and lifestyle? What kind of environment do they thrive in?
Picture this. A cozy cottage, nestled in nature, with sunlight streaming through the windows.
Okay, stop. I'm already there.
Right. Peaceful, serene.
But what about Tauruses who live in the city?
Even in a bustling city, a Taurus will find ways to bring nature in.
Oh, okay.
They'll have window boxes overflowing with flowers or tons of plants inside. They make their space a sanctuary.
So that connection to the earth is still important.
Essential, really.
And this desire for peace and stability, does that carry over to their finances as well?
Absolutely. Remember the Rock of Gibraltar?
Oh, yeah, good point.
They build their financial security the same way. Slowly, steadily.
So not big on impulsive spending then?
No, not really. They like to have a plan, know where their money is going.
Okay, so no risky investments or sudden shopping sprees.
They want to be able to provide for themselves and their loved ones.
It's all about security.
Exactly.
So we've got this image of a Taurus, grounded, stable, security-driven, but what about their health? Are they naturally healthy, or are there any specific vulnerabilities?
They tend to have strong constitutions, yeah.
Okay, good.
But they do love good food and comfort, sometimes a little too much.
So moderation is key.
Absolutely. Finding that balance between enjoying life and staying healthy.
It's all about balance.
And that stubborn streak we talked about,
Yeah.
that can sometimes make them resistant to medical advice.
Oh, interesting.
So for a Taurus, listening to their body, prioritizing healthy habits.
Important.
Really important.
Okay, so before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, can we just do like a quick rundown of the classic Taurus strengths and weaknesses?
Of course. So on the positive side, you've got loyalty, patience, reliability. They're very practical.
Yeah.
Dedicated, often artistic too. But of course, the flip side is that sometimes those strengths can turn into weaknesses.
Oh, right.
Patience can become stubbornness. Love of comfort can lead to overindulgence.
And their need for security.
Can make them a bit inflexible.
Fascinating how those traits can be both good and bad.
It really is, and that's what makes exploring these signs so interesting.
Yeah, it's not about labeling people, it's about understanding the nuance.
Exactly, understanding what makes each sign unique.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it's about embracing that complexity.
Yeah, the light and the shadow.
The yin and yang.
Okay, so let's talk about how a Taurus mind works. Like when they're faced with a problem, how do they approach it?
Well, you have to remember, Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and harmony.
Right.
So naturally, they crave balance, serenity, even when things get tough.
So their first instinct is to find a peaceful solution.
Absolutely, they want to smooth things over.
No dramatic arguments or anything like that.
Not their style. They're much more likely to weigh their options carefully.
Think it through.
Consider all sides,
So they're not impulsive decision makers.
No, they like to take their time, make sure they're making the right choice.
Makes sense. They value stability.
Exactly. They're not easily swayed by trends or pressure.
They trust their own gut.
Their inner compass.
I'm imagining what it would be like if you had, say, a fiery Aries trying to work with a methodical Taurus.
Oh, that would be an interesting combination.
Right.
The Aries might get impatient with the Taurus's pace, and the Taurus might feel overwhelmed by the Aries energy.
But maybe they could learn from each other.
Oh, definitely. Those differences can lead to growth.
If they're open to it.
Exactly. It's like a dance.
A cosmic dance.
Each one bringing their own rhythm.
Okay, speaking of keeping things light, what about a Taurus's sense of humor? Are they known for their wit?
Goodman actually says that Tauruses really enjoy slapstick.
Really?
Yeah, they like humor that's grounded, relatable.
Simple, silly?
Exactly, like those classic physical comedy bits.
Oh, like someone slipping out a banana peel.
Exactly, that kind of thing.
So not so much stand-up comedy.
They prefer humor that's just straightforward, lighthearted.
Makes you smile.
It's about finding joy in the simple things.
Okay, let's talk about work and career. What kind of professions do Tauruses gravitate towards?
Tauruses, they thrive in environments where they can actually build something tangible and lasting.
Okay.
They like careers that offer stability, security.
Right, that makes sense.
They want to put their practical skills to good use.
So are we talking like finance, construction?
Exactly, things like that, maybe real estate, even farming.
They like to see the results of their efforts.
Absolutely. They're not into get-rich-quick schemes.
No, they're in it for the long haul.
They build their success step by step.
Sounds like they have a strong work ethic.
Oh, yeah. Very dedicated.
What about their leadership style? Are they the commanding type?
They can be great leaders, but their style is more about quiet authority. They lead by example.
Okay.
Steady, dedicated, committed to doing things well.
So more of a steady as a rock leader.
You got it. They're not interested in power struggles.
Right. They want to create a harmonious environment.
Exactly, where everyone can work together effectively.
So are there any downsides to this? Any challenges they might face in their careers?
Well, Because they're so grounded, sometimes they can be resistant to change.
Oh, that makes sense.
They might be slow to adapt to new technology, new ways of doing things.
Right. They like things to be predictable.
Exactly. But on the plus side, they're very thorough,
Yeah.
detail-oriented, so they rarely make careless mistakes.
Is that duality again, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so Tauruses are known to appreciate the finer things in life, the luxury. What is it about that appeals to them so much?
Goodman talks about how Tauruses have this deep appreciation for sensory pleasure.
Oh, interesting.
They enjoy beautiful art, good food, comfortable surroundings.
So it's not about being materialistic.
No, it's about surrounding themselves with things that bring them joy.
Curating a life filled with beauty and quality.
Exactly. They'd rather have one really special piece than a bunch of trendy stuff.
Something that lasts.
Something with a story.
Right, so it's like they savor every
They
experience.
take their time, appreciate the moment.
And this reminds me of their love of nature, too.
Absolutely. That connection to the earth is so important to them.
It all ties together, this appreciation for the tangible world.
Whether it's a beautiful object or a stunning landscape.
So if you're thinking about gifts for a Taurus,
Think thoughtful. Something that shows you really get them.
like a handmade gift, something unique,
For an experience, maybe something in nature.
a weekend getaway to a cabin, something like that.
Exactly. It's about understanding their values.
Their appreciation for quality.
And the simple pleasures.
Okay, so we've covered so much. Their grounded nature, their love of luxury, their connection to nature, but there's always more to discover.
There's always more. Yeah, every sign has those layers.
Right. Okay, so before we finish up this Taurus deep dive, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier. Goodman mentions this intense rage that Tauruses are capable of,
Right, that fiery side.
but she also says that they rarely ever show it.
It's true. It takes a lot to really push them to that point.
So how do those two things, how do they exist together?
It's a paradox, isn't it? I mean, at their core, Tauruses are peace-loving, patient.
Yeah.
They'd much rather avoid conflict.
But they will let you know when you've crossed a line.
Oh, yeah, they have their boundaries, but the thing is,
Yeah.
the warnings can be subtle, easy to miss if you don't know what to look for.
So someone who doesn't really understand a Taurus might not even realize they're doing something wrong.
Exactly, and then suddenly, bam, they're hit with this wave of anger.
And it's not coming out of nowhere, right?
No, it's like that bull we were talking about pawing the ground.
Okay, yeah.
That slow burn, building up over time.
Okay, so instead of waiting for the explosion, we need to pay attention to those smaller signs.
The subtle shifts in their energy.
Like what specifically?
You might notice they become less affectionate, more withdrawn. Or maybe they dig their heels in on something, become really stubborn.
Right, refusing to budge.
Those are the clues. That's when you need to step back, give them some space.
It's like learning a new language, the language of Taurus.
I love that. Yeah, it's about developing that sensitivity.
Recognizing that their anger is a last resort.
Often a reaction to feeling ignored or disrespected.
Wow, this is giving me a whole new understanding of Taurus.
It's not just about those surface traits, it's about what's going on underneath.
And that's the power of astrology, right?
It helps us see ourselves and others in a new light.
Yeah. Appreciate all the different facets of personality.
The strengths, the weaknesses, the complexities.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Taurus personality, I want to leave our listeners with this. Take what you've learned and look around.
Observe the Tauruses in your life.
See if they fit the profile. See where they surprise you.
Use this as a starting point to get to know them better.
Exactly, to really understand these grounded, steadfast, and yes, complex individuals.
Because each Taurus is unique, shaped by their own experiences.
Right. This has been a framework, a guide.
Now it's time to go out and explore.
And remember, if you ever find yourself face-to-face with a charging Taurus,
Lapasai.
wise words. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and embrace the beauty of human complexity.
See you on our next deep dive.
Yeah.